It includes Columbia as well. This will continue until 11 o'clock, so we could have some strong winds with this particular system. And as we mentioned, severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible. So if you're in this area, you do want to go ahead and take tornado precautions. You want to go to the centermost part of your house, away from windows and doors, and you just want to get away from any kind of, if you're outside, you want to go inside, so you do want to protect yourself from the wind. Again, severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible until 11 o'clock for this area here. You notice there, Columbia and Gilbert. We're going to zoom in a little bit closer and show you the exact area. This does include Casey, Irmo, Lexington, West Columbia. Includes the counties of Aiken, Calhoun, Fairfield, and Lexington. So we'll zoom in here a little bit closer. It's basically this area here: Irmo, Chapin, Lexington, Batesburg, South Congaree, Columbia. And so that's the one we're tracking as of right now for the possibility for a tornado. This is a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible. Keep in mind, there is a tornado watch for all of the Midlands until 2 o'clock this afternoon. So we've been watching this activity very closely. Matter of fact, you'll notice this. You notice this little spin in the atmosphere just south of Batesburg, Leesville. We'll be watching that one pretty closely as well. It looks like we're getting some information here. They are canceling the tornado watch basically from west to east. So once this main line goes through, we'll be in the clear, but we're watching this area just south of Batesburg, Leesville. You will notice some rotation with that particular system. Again, tornado possible, severe thunderstorm warning for that watch box. We're also watching this area down in Aiken County. I know that's not officially in our viewing area, but there has been some noted rotation with that particular cell as well. So we do have a kind of a lot going on as of this morning. We're getting some watches and warnings coming in and out at the moment. I'm reading some of this information from the National Weather Service. They're saying they're watching a rotation moving in southwest Lexington County. Tornado warning may be needed for that one as well. That's from the National Weather Service. And it says we're going to let the current tornado warning expire. That was the one that was for Saluda County. This one here, they're going to let that one expire. That was for Saluda and parts of Aiken County. So they're going to let that one expire, but they are watching this rotation in Lexington County very closely for another possible tornado warning. This is down near Batesburg, Leesville, and so this would be impacting Gilbert if it continues on this pace. So we do have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect for parts of Richland, Lexington. It's mainly Lexington at this point, but it also includes Newberry and Fairfield counties, and that will continue until 11 o'clock this morning. So what we're talking about is a severe thunderstorm warning, possible tornado. That's the verbiage from the National Weather Service in Columbia with a possible tornado. Again, this continues until 11 o'clock this morning. So we've been talking about this so far today. There is a difference between watches and warnings. A watch means conditions are favorable. We're all under this watch currently for all of the Midlands. And so you need to know where to go when severe weather hits at this point. Know what you're going to do. You need to stay updated. You need to have multiple ways to get alerts, whether it be a cell phone, weather radio, or television, or internet. You need to have multiple ways. Now, if a warning is issued, in particular for a tornado warning, you do want to seek shelter immediately. Go to the lowest floor, away from windows and doors, and you want to be alert even when you do not see danger. So again, the difference between a watch and a warning is very important. As I just mentioned, there are multiple ways to get these watches and warnings. Cell phone, weather radio, obviously local TV, and radio as well. We're watching these couple of areas very closely. In particular, this area that is just south of Batesburg, Leesville. Notice the rotation there. It does look like it's starting to pick up just a touch. So Weather Service may have to issue a warning for this particular storm, a tornado warning. Currently there is a severe thunderstorm warning, possible tornado for that particular cell. And I'm kind of going to draw a circle around it and show you exactly what we're talking about. I think I got the right one. It's this, let me clear that out, this rotation right here as it continues to move generally towards the north and east. So if you guys are in Gilbert, Batesburg, Leesville, these areas, you do want to go ahead and take your tornado precautions as that rotation kind of moves towards you. Elsewhere across the Midlands, notice that line of showers and thunderstorms moving through the area. Behind that main line, the good news is already in parts of Newberry, Saluda counties, and parts of Fairfield counties, the threat of severe weather is coming to an end as that main line pushes on through. So certainly good news there that as this main line swings through the area, it's basically moving towards the east, northeast or so. Behind here, Newberry County, parts of Saluda County, the weather does improve, at least the threat for severe weather does improve. So this main line through here that we're watching as it pushes through, not only with the threat of severe weather, we also have the threat for frequent lightning, also some heavy downpours that could produce some flooding on our area roadways. So if you do have to go out over the next few minutes, you may need to give yourself some extra time, or you just may need to just wait till this main line of storms kind of moves through the area. So we'll kind of reset things real quickly. Currently, we have this severe thunderstorm warning in effect, possible tornado. This is from the National Weather Service out of Columbia. Well, we do have the watch as well. That continues for all of the Midlands until 2 o'clock. But this watch will start to end from west to east as we go through the rest of the morning hours. Let me click on the warning here and show you what we're talking about with the actual warning. Tornado possible with this watch or warning box here. And we're still getting some information from the National Weather Service.
Tornado warning has expired.
So the tornado warning 4, we got meteorologist Aaron Walker here, and we also have meteorologist Corey Smith here working and checking everything out. Tornado warning has expired for Aiken and Saluda and Edgefield counties. So that warning that is right there near Batesburg, Leesville, over in parts of Saluda, Aiken, and Edgefield counties, that has now been allowed to expire. But really the biggest warning we're watching closely that does impact a larger portion of our area and our viewing area at this point is this one here. Tornado possible until 11 o'clock. Aiken, Calhoun, Fairfield, Lexington. Again, it does include a large portion of our viewing area. Now we're getting some more information from the National Weather Service. Law enforcement spotted a tornado near Edgefield County. This was near Highway 23. This was heading towards Batesburg. So it was that particular rotation that was warned earlier that we've been watching, and looks like Edgefield County Emergency Management is going that direction to go find out if there is any damage from that particular storm. They're still monitoring that rotation that's near Batesburg, Leesville. It looks like it's kind of weakening a little bit. It's not quite as well defined, but obviously as it continues to move through Lexington County, we're going to have to watch this closely. Are you seeing anything in particular, Corey, that would be of interest right now?
Nothing now, except for we do have the at least enhanced winds. That'd be where I'd be looking.
All right. So Corey, meteorologist Corey Smith is watching this area just south of Wagner. This would be moving into Orangeburg County, and so we'll be watching that one very closely as well. It does look like it's starting to try to rotate, but still something we'll watch. Nothing official with that one as of yet, but certainly one we're going to be paying close attention to. So we're still watching this rotation. It's becoming a little bit more broad, it looks like, just south of Gilbert. Again, moving generally towards the east at about 30 miles per hour, and it does include a large portion of our area, South Congaree, Columbia, Lexington, Irmo, but in particular, it's down here in the southern part of Lexington, right north of I-20 that we'll be watching closely. Again, severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible. This continues until 11 o'clock. Just click on a few buttons here. And so this warning does continue until 11 o'clock. At about 10:15 or so, the storm was located west of Dreher Island State Park, and it was kind of moving towards the northeast, and it had radar indicated strong winds. So again, the locations in these areas include Lexington, Columbia, West Columbia, Casey, Irmo, Batesburg, Leesville, Springdale. You guys are in this warning as well. St. Andrews, Oak Grove, the Lake Murray Dam area, the University area, University of South Carolina, Columbia International University. And so you guys do want to take precautions because this is a possible tornado. The tornado watch does continue for all of the Midlands until 11 o'clock. So we're going to continue to follow this one, and we're going to continue to follow all these watches and warnings as we go through the rest of the morning. Let me go back to the radar real quickly. and show you what we're seeing on the radar, along with the potential for severe weather, also frequent lightning and heavy downpours. But the biggest thing you'll notice is that the rainfall and the severe weather risk is ending as this main line pushes on through. So certainly good news there, but there's a lot of lightning, heavy downpours associated with this particular storm, or storm system I should say, and then we're watching this area that's in parts of Lexington County for possible tornadic development. Severe thunderstorm warning, possible tornado until 11 o'clock this morning with that particular cell. So if you are in those areas, you do want to take precautions. Now the good news is it looks like the rotation has become a little bit more on the broad side, but we're getting more information from the National Weather Service. It looks like there is now a tornado warning for Aiken, Calhoun, Lexington, Orangeburg until 11 o'clock. So let's go ahead and start looking at this one. Let's see, tornado warning for Aiken, Calhoun, Lexington, Orangeburg until 11 o'clock. Let's find that particular system, that storm cell. And it was the one that Corey was looking at just a few minutes ago, that one that had the velocity. There it is, that one that was near Wagner. You can see it right there. There's that tornado warning. And we'll click on the information here. You see that very bright, those bright winds there just south of Wagner. That would be the associated tornado. It was the one Corey was just talking about. And so we kind of saw that one coming, and I'll draw a circle around it. Let's see which way that one's moving. It's moving east at 45 miles per hour. So we'll kind of track this one for you as it continues to move towards the east. You guys in Orangeburg County, Aiken County, and southern parts of Lexington County, you want to go ahead and be prepared. Take your tornado precautions. Go to the centermost part of your house, away from windows and doors, as this tornado warning continues for that part of Orangeburg, Lexington, and Aiken counties. I've got to go back to where I was. I apologize. We'll go back to the radar one more time and give you some of the information on that particular tornado warning. There we go. It's got to load up. A lot of information going into the system right now, but let's click on this particular warning and tell you what's going on with it. Tornado warning, 11 o'clock, Aiken, Calhoun, Lexington, Orangeburg counties. This includes North, Sally, Swansea, and Wagner. At about 10:31 this morning, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located about 10 miles northeast of the Aiken State Park. It was that area that we were watching earlier, just south of Wagner. According to the National Weather Service, it's moving towards the east at 45 miles per hour. So you guys in this warning box, you do want to take precautions and go ahead and go to the centermost part of your house, away from windows and doors. Let's see, not that one. I'm going to go ahead and time this one out though. Find my tools here. So we're going to time this out towards the east at about 45 miles per hour. So you see Swansea there, about 11 o'clock. If this hangs on, you're talking about some other smaller areas, some of the lower populated areas there. Swansea really one of the bigger populated areas in that particular area. But hey, North, Wagner, you need to watch out. Also Sally, and we're going to zoom in a little closer on this particular cell. You can see the rotation there. It's going to be moving towards Perry in Aiken County. And again, that is a tornado warning. Parts of Lexington, Calhoun, and Orangeburg counties until 11 o'clock. We'll continue to look at some of these other areas that we were following. Notice the rotation has become a little bit more broad in this area just south of Batesburg and Leesville. We're still getting more information in from the National Weather Service. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Aiken, Bamberg, Barnwell, Calhoun, Orangeburg, Richland, and Sumter. This is a large warning here, and this is going to continue until 11:15. We're going to zoom out and show you that particular warning. There's a lot going on this morning with these storms kind of rolling through the area. So we're going to zoom out, show you all the watches and warnings that we currently have. We do have that tornado watch for all of the Midlands until 2 o'clock this afternoon. But as we mentioned earlier, once we get that main line through, our weather will start to improve. At least the threat of severe weather will be a lot lower. The latest warning, severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible until 11:15. This is for a large part of the Midlands. This will include Calhoun County. This is going to include southeastern Lexington County, western Sumter County, northeastern Aiken County, Orangeburg County, and southern parts of Richland County. There's a severe thunderstorm, basically a line of showers and thunderstorms moving through the areas. It was about 9 miles south of Red Bank, and it was near Martin, moving towards the east at 45 miles per hour. This is radar indicated, but you can expect considerable damage as this continues to move through. Damage is likely to mobile homes, roofs, and outbuildings. These areas also include Orangeburg, Denmark, McIntyre, Blackville, St. Matthews, Gaston, Branchville. You guys are in this tornado warning, or I should say severe thunderstorm warning with the threat of a possible tornado. Claflin College, South Carolina State, Sandy Run, and Gadsden, some of the places that are in this area. Again, a tornado watch does remain in effect for the rest of the Midlands until 2 o'clock. So if you're in these areas that are starting to get these warnings, you do want to go ahead and take tornado precautions. And what we mean by that, hey, if you're in your house, you want to go to the centermost part of your house, away from windows and doors. A hallway is always a good place, a closet, anything like that to get away from the outside. You want to put as many walls between you and the outside as you possibly can. We're getting some more information here from the National Weather Service. National Weather Service is now saying there is a severe thunderstorm warning capable of producing a tornado, and this is located near Red Bank in Lexington County. This is moving towards the east at 35 miles per hour. We're going to find that particular system right now, and we'll show you all the watches and warnings, and we're going to zoom into this one. I apologize when the radar does go black. Now, is this a tornado? Let me go back. This is actual, I'm sorry, I said this is a tornado warning for Lexington County. This is a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. So if you are in this area right now, you need to go ahead and take your tornado precautions. Go to the centermost part of your house, away from windows and doors at this point. This is the area we're watching. This includes Lexington, Red Bank, South Congaree, Springdale. If you're in these areas, go ahead and go to the centermost part of your house, away from windows and doors. Let's show you the rotation on this particular system. Again, tornado warning in effect for this storm. The velocities, we're going to kind of look at that and see where the winds are at this point with this cell that is tornado warned. We'll zoom out here. All right, we can see it right here. It looks like there's several little areas we're going to have to watch. You notice that one that's just south of I-20, and these are moving at about 35 miles per hour towards the east. And again, that one the Weather Service issued the tornado warning for was near Red Bank. So several areas that do have at least the potential for some tornadic activity. You notice these bright couplets here that possibly could be producing some tornadic activity. I'm going to circle that one right there. And there's watching this one here that's going to be moving towards Edmond. And you notice this one just southeast of Gilbert as well. So we're watching these little areas. Again, these are going to spin up pretty quickly. And by the time you get the warnings, a lot of times they kind of have gone or dissipated. But again, tornado warning for this area that includes Red Bank. It includes South Congaree. It includes Edmond. If you're in this tornado warned area, Lexington, Springdale, South Congaree, take your tornado precautions. Go to the centermost part of your house, away from windows and doors. Again, we are watching a number of thunderstorms that are capable of producing tornadic activity at this point. We're looking at some of these inflow notches, for lack of better words, the fancy word for it, these little areas where the winds are blowing in to the thunderstorm, and we're still getting more. All right, so possible, hold on to the possible. All right, so we're still watching this. Another tornado warning is going to be possible in just a few minutes. Meteorologist Corey Smith is also following. Are you up yet, Corey, or are you still getting set up? All right, I was getting the word from our director. He is still getting set up at this point. So we've got myself, we've got meteorologist Aaron Walker, and we got meteorologist Corey Smith here following all of this very closely. And we're going to be watching this tornado warning in particular in Lexington County. That's the one we've really got to pay close attention to at this point. We're going to zoom in a little bit and show you the velocity. So the velocity product just shows the wind speeds and what's kind of going on with the wind. Let's zoom out. And there are a couple of areas we'll have to watch. You notice there are several areas that are kind of rotating. They appear to be rotating. That one near Gilbert and that one just south of I-20 appears to have some rotation to it. This right here may have a little bit of rotation. Also watching this area, and as I mentioned, that one just east of Gilbert. Again, all this has been moving generally towards the east at about 35 miles per hour. So, getting more information from the National Weather Service, they continue the tornado warning for Aiken, Calhoun, Lexington, Orangeburg counties until 11 o'clock. The storm in particular that they're watching is about 19 miles south of Red Bank, moving towards the east, they now say at about 45 miles per hour. So it is southwest of Gaston at this point. So again, that tornado warning, if you're in this area, Lexington, South Congaree, Red Bank, I can tell you some of the other areas that you need. Actually, I'll zoom in and show you the other areas we've got to be watching. Hold on one second. Got my computer's lagging just a touch. Let's zoom in here. 378 along I-20 near Highway 1, Springdale. You're also in this warning. South Congaree, Red Bank, all in this warning at this point. If you are in this warning box, again, go ahead, go to the centermost part of your house, away from windows and doors, and take tornado precautions at this point. Let me zoom out, show you what's going on elsewhere. Notice it is quieting down for at least parts of the Midlands. That is great news. It's really this main thread here, this main line that's moving through parts of the area. Notice Kershaw County, no warnings for you as of yet, but that may change. The weather is getting a little bit better in parts of Fairfield County. Still got some heavy downpours in Newberry, Saluda, but this is main line that we're going to be watching, especially south of Columbia in that area that has that tornado warning. Now again, that tornado warning, at least one of those warnings continues for another 15 minutes or so. We'll show you the warnings that we're still talking about at 10:45 this morning. It is a very busy morning in the Weather Center. We've got 3 meteorologists working on what's going on today. So let's zoom out. We've got that tornado watch box for all of the Midlands until 2 o'clock this afternoon. But we've been talking about this all morning. Once that main line of thunderstorm activity moves through the area, the weather will improve. At least the severe weather threat will decrease pretty quickly. So that's certainly good news there. But the bad news is right now we do have a number of warnings. Let's kind of reset and show you the warnings that we've got. First of all, the most important warning is, there it is. Tornado warning, Lexington County. This is Lexington, Red Bank, South Congaree, and Springdale. So tornado warning continues for that area. We've got a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado near Red Bank moving towards the east at 35 miles per hour. So you want to go ahead, go to the centermost part of your house, away from windows and doors. If you know people that may be outside, tell them to come on in the house, get away from the windows and doors, and make sure you are paying close attention to the weather. We also have this other tornado warning. Let me clean this up a touch. We also have this other tornado warning. It's Aiken, Calhoun, Lexington, Orangeburg. This includes North, Swansea, Woodford, and we'll just take a little bit of a wider view and show you the 2 other severe thunderstorm warnings. Let me click on those real quick, and then I'm going to get Corey Smith to come in here and talk a second. Severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible for Aiken, Calhoun, Fairfield, Lexington, and this also includes Casey, Irmo, Lexington, West Columbia. The other warning, severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible, includes Orangeburg, parts of Richland County, and parts of Sumter and Aiken and Richland County. I think I just mentioned that, but I tell you what, Corey, are you seeing any? I know you've been looking at the radar closely. Have you seen anything that may pique your interest at this point?
Yeah, so thankfully, Daniel, looking like right now at least, we're just seeing these brief spin-ups, pretty weak in nature. If we can take a Max 2 behind me, we can show you at least what's going on a little bit more over the last couple of hours. Essentially, we've been seeing systems move through. Let me actually do this, and then we can switch over to the radar. But we're seeing at least this line of storms moving through this morning. This is a cold front that's moving through the area, very quick moving. So that's really, I think, the big thing with these warnings is there's not a lot of lead time. You're going to be inside this box within 10, 15, 20 minutes. That center of rotation is going to be on top of where you're living possibly. So this is something that we're going to need to keep an eye on over the next couple of hours. There is a tornado watch out. That means that conditions are clearly favorable for tornadic weather through 2 p.m. this afternoon. Taking a little bit of a closer look, we're going to stop things right now and go back to what we're seeing with these tornado warnings across the Midlands. And I think the good news that we're looking at right now, we always like to see if things are improving, and that looks to be the case right now. We're not seeing any strong rotation. So this is that tornado warning that's out, including Lexington County, even getting close now towards the Columbia Metro, and not seeing anything at least too strong in the terms of rotation. What we typically look for are for these reds and these greens to match up on this velocity product. That means that the wind's moving in opposite directions. We're not seeing that as of right now, but we're also getting pretty close to the radar, and things start to get a little bit messy on the returns there. So something we're going to keep an eye on for sure. Down to the south, we have that warning that has been out for a while now that includes portions of southern Lexington County, including Swansea, northern Orangeburg County, and Calhoun County. Just like the other system, not really seeing any organized rotation as of right now, like when this warning was issued. So some improvements with this as well. One thing that we do like to look at is this is called correlation coefficient. So you can see all these colors right here. This red means everything's uniform. The radar beam's picking up rainfall. When we see at least lighter colors, and you can see it ahead of the storm where there's likely things being picked up by the wind gusts. We get blues and greens. That is something that we can typically see debris being lofted from a tornado. And the good thing is we're not really seeing that in these warnings right now, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't be taking these seriously. We are seeing these move through. We already have reports of a possible tornado that touched down earlier in Edgefield County. So there is at least some history with these storms of producing tornadic weather. Let's go ahead and we're going to put the latest information with these warnings up. Let me go ahead and pull that up. And this is going to be for the Lexington County warning. That is until 11 a.m. So we've been seeing these storms move right around 45 miles per hour. So places like Lexington and South Congaree. In fact, let me go ahead and put you a tracker on this so we can talk about where this is, because it's moved at least a little bit in the southern side of the box now towards South Congaree. Let me get this up. And we'll put the track on this, and then we'll send things back over to Daniel. But let's track this out, at least if it continues to go outside of the box. We're talking South Congaree around 10:53, Columbia around 10:55, and Casey around 10:59. So we'll have to watch that going forward. But let's send this back over to Daniel.
Yeah, Corey, that's the one we want to watch. In particular, there is a tornado on the ground, according to the National Weather Service, a tornadic debris signature being reported by the National Weather Service at this point. So this is a dangerous situation with this particular cell as it continues to move towards Columbia. So if you're in this area, you do want to take precaution. This has been confirmed from the National Weather Service, this particular system. So we'll go ahead and tell you what they're talking about. A tornado producing a storm was located over Red Bank, moving towards the east at 35 miles per hour. Radar was showing a debris signature, so that means there was some type of debris in the air, and this is indicating a tornado on the ground southeast of Red Bank, west-southwest of South Congaree, and moving towards the northeast towards South Congaree. The good news is in this, it will likely pass by Columbia Metropolitan Airport, but if you can see it, it's that rotation that we're watching very closely. Let me flip the sources here. There we go. If you can see that rotation there, just south of Red Bank, north of Edmond, I'm going to zoom in tightly to it. This would be That's South Lake Drive. All right, the radar just updated, the velocity product just updated. We're getting really close to the radar too, so you're not seeing it maybe as prominent, but I will say this has been indicated that this is a tornado, a tornadic debris signature, a TDS at this point. So if you're in this area, this has been confirmed by radar that a tornado was on the ground according to the National Weather Service. So at this point, any of these warnings you want to take seriously, because we do at least have confirmation of at least some debris in the air with this particular storm. We'll look at see if there's anything in the air that we can tell right now. The correlation coefficient, not seeing much of anything right now, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen before. I know Corey was just showing the same product, but again, National Weather Service confirming that a tornado was on the ground with that particular cell just a few minutes ago, and it was moving towards South Congaree. We'll zoom in here a little bit closer. It appears it may be just south of South Congaree at this point, but again, you're getting very, very close to the radar at this point, so you kind of get a little bit of not as well-defined situations. Corey, you seeing the same thing near Congaree and Red Bank?
Yeah, so I'm going to switch things over to the correlation coefficient. I've actually gone ahead and circled what we're looking at right there. These blues and greens right here, as you get close to the radar, it's a little bit hard to see, but this is our tornado debris signature that has been moving through the area. That's pushed to the South Congaree as of right now. Let's go back to the velocity. We did see that very briefly push through. Let me go ahead and switch over to velocity, because like Daniel was saying, really just south of South Congaree, and I want to put emphasis, these are moving very quickly, so if you are in southern Richland County, places like Casey, over towards maybe over towards Hopkins, you need to keep an eye on this. You're not in the warning right now, but the rotation has been right about here, so it's near South Congaree that we've been seeing that rotation continuing to work towards the east-northeast. These storms are moving generally around 45 miles per hour, so we can go ahead and put another track on that just to at least time things out. Thankfully, this part of the Midlands, even though it's close to Columbia, because the Congaree River is moving right through here, there's actually a lot of area that's not really developed. So places like Dixiana around 1059, Atlas Road School around 1106, Bluff Estates at 1106. So potentially moving over towards portions of Calhoun and Richland County here. They're not in the warning, but with this being on the very fringe of the tornado warning right now, we're gonna have to see if the National Weather Service does actually choose to extend this. And I think with this recently being radar confirmed, there is that possibility there. It's just going to be a little bit harder to see because we are right next to the radar site. We're getting really low scans, but we're also getting a lot of ground clutter, so it's making it a little bit harder to see. I do want to go back out though and just give people bearings of what's going on. It looks like we have a new tornado warning out now, including Calhoun County, as well as portions of southern Richland County. So if you want to come in with the latest information on that, Daniel, here in a second, but I'm going to go ahead and at least go, and this is right just south of Swansea that we're seeing some rotation currently. New tornado warning has been issued for this, so let's go ahead and pull up the latest information on that. Okay, Daniel, you have the latest information on this warning?
Yeah, that is the latest tornado warning, so it is for parts of St. Matthew, or Calhoun County, I should say, Lexington County, Orangeburg County, and I'm just going to read it straight off from the National Weather Service. This is for Calhoun, Lexington, Orangeburg, Richland. This is until 11:30. So at about 10:53, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. So tornado warning. This is about 9 miles south of Gaston, and it's moving towards the east at about 40 miles per hour. So this is a tornado warning for you guys in that area that we just mentioned. You're talking about some areas that include, let me find some of these areas. St. Matthews, probably there around 11:20 or so. Go ahead and get to your centermost part of your house, away from windows and doors. Again, this is a tornado warning until 11:30. We'll show you the velocity product again, kind of show you what we're seeing. And Corey was just showing this. Notice that rotation. You can kind of zoom in right there. It looks like it's right along the Lexington and Orangeburg County line is where the rotation appears. And we got a lot going on right now in the Weather Center. You can hear the warnings going off. All right, so another tornado capable, at least a storm capable of producing a tornado, was located over Pine Ridge or near Casey, moving towards the east at 35 miles per hour. So this is our newest tornado warning. We've got a lot of, you heard both of our phones. We're in both, myself and meteorologist Aaron Walker in here. Our phones were going off because this includes our area as well. This includes the southeastern part of Columbia. So let's talk about this new particular warning that we have. We're going to click on it right now, and let's see. Tornado warning now for Calhoun, Lexington, Richland counties. This includes Casey, Hopkins, South Congaree, and Springdale. So if you're in this area, northwestern Calhoun County, east central Lexington County, and southeastern Richland County, which does include us here, obviously, at WLTX, you do want to go ahead, go to the centermost part of your house, stay away from windows and doors. We do have a severe thunderstorm that has the potential to produce a tornado. So radar indicated rotation, and the system has a history of producing radar indicated tornadoes. So we're going to have to watch this very closely. And again, it's kind of the rotation is pretty close to the radar, so it kind of gets a little bit junky. It's hard to tell what's going on, but regardless, you need to go ahead and take your tornado precautions if you're in this particular area. So currently, we'll go ahead and I think Corey was going to I'll just go ahead and reset us real quick, Corey. We currently do have 4 warnings, tornado warnings in effect for the Midlands. We do have a tornado watch box in effect for all of the Midlands. That continues until 2 o'clock. But really it's this main line. Once this main line moves through, our weather should improve. So let's go ahead and go through all these warnings real quick. Tornado warning, that one for Lexington, Red Bank, South Congaree, that was along I-20. That one's going to expire in just a few minutes. All right, so let's look at this other one here. Tornado warning, this is this latest one we just mentioned. This is going to continue for another 30 minutes. This is Calhoun, Lexington, Richland counties. And the other one continues until 11:30. Calhoun, Lexington, Orangeburg, and Richland counties. That would be the southern part of the viewing area. And we still do have this other tornado warning. So 4 warnings right now. And let me go ahead and clear this out, and we'll talk about that particular warning. Do have that tornado warning, and that's going to expire in just a few minutes. So in just a few minutes, we'll only have 2 warnings in effect, but nonetheless, we still have to pay close attention to these particular cells that are moving through the Midlands very quickly. And we're going to have to continue to watch some a little bit farther south as well. So we are tracking these very closely. Are you seeing anything of interest right now, Corey?
Yeah, so I just want to take a look at that storm that's in Lexington County, moving into Richland County right now. Here's the rotation. We have the tornado warning out. The rotation is somewhere in here. It's a little bit hard to tell because we're so close to the radar site, so we're getting a lot of ground clutter. Just to put some bearings on where this rotation is, Dixiana at 26 is right about here. So just to the north of the rotation. That's pushing out towards the east. That's towards State Road 48. Hopkins, you're going to be in the general direction of the system. So I want to put a track on that just because we do have a lot of people living in this area that are going to be impacted by this system. So let's go ahead and talk about this. 11:10 Hopkins. Hopkins School also around 11:10. Bruner by 11:13. And Horrell Hill Elementary School around 11:14. It does look like, Daniel, real quick, that they did just cancel the severe, or I should say tornado warning for most of Lexington County. So that was just residual pretty much for this system that is moving into Richland County. So it looks like we are down a warning now. So if you're in Red Bank, Lexington towards Gilbert, you are in the clear, at least for now, with this particular cell. Taking a look down at the south, we're still seeing some pretty decent signatures in our velocity right now. We always look for these reds touching greens, and that's a signal of seeing rotation. The closer they get, the better rotation that we're seeing probably at the surface. And you can see this right here. This is in portions of northern Calhoun County, moving right towards I-26. You can see St. Matthews right there on the right-hand side of your screen. So let's go ahead and put a track on this one as well. Center Hill School around 11:01, Briar Head School 11:09, Calhoun County High School around 11:13, and St. Matthews around 11:15. If this circulation does hold together, the important thing is if you are in these tornado warnings, you need to find your safe space, an interior room that you can go to take shelter while these are moving through. They're pushing right around 40 to 45 miles per hour, so very quick moving systems. There's not going to be a lot of lead time when it comes to this severe weather that we're seeing today. And on top of that, Daniel, I think we need to mention also we do have severe thunderstorm warnings that are currently out for the entire, or not the entire, but a good chunk of the viewing area. We've been seeing the risk of potential of winds gusting up to 70 miles per hour. And you can see that extending pretty much from Columbia Point south. We have that severe thunderstorm warning. And along the edge of this line is where we're going to be potentially seeing some of those damaging wind gusts. And just to give you a reminder, when it comes to wind, it can do just as much damage as a tornado. So we need to take this seriously, especially points south of Columbia. If you're living north, so if you're in places like Saluda towards Newberry, Winsboro, Kershaw County, Camden, Bishopville, and Lee County over towards Sumter, right now things are quiet. I think places to the east of Columbia, so that's including Sumter towards Manning, you need to be paying attention. Santee, Orangeburg, this hasn't reached you yet, but places up towards the north, primarily Newberry and Winslow, I think you're in the clear for severe weather as of right now. But let's head things over back to Daniel with the latest on what he's seeing.
And you can even hear the loud noises on our roof here. This is some heavy downpours moving through parts of the Midlands, but that's really not the main concern. The main concern is the severe weather aspects of today's situation. We do have those tornado warnings for parts of Richland County, parts of Lexington, Calhoun, and Orangeburg counties. Those will continue for another 30 minutes or so. Those continue until 11:30, and we still do have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect. Now, all of the Midlands still under a severe, or a tornado watch, I should say, but we'll kind of track these things out for you as I step off camera here and show you what we've got going on. As Corey mentioned, for the areas that are to our north, at least the northern portions of the Midlands, like Newberry, Fairfield counties, you guys are probably fine. Even Saluda County, western parts of Lexington County. But it's this main line of storms as they continue to move through, and we're going to kind of track these out over the next several minutes. We'll estimate I think, what were they moving at, Aaron? About 35 miles per hour-ish. So we'll go about 35 miles per hour with this line of storms and kind of tell you where and when these are going to impact your area. So as we go towards the east, basically at 35 miles per hour, we're talking about Orangeburg at about 11:15 or so, Cameron, Eastover, Ellery, Statesburg in Sumter County, and even for you guys in Sumter, if this area does hold on, you're talking about seeing severe weather, at least a possibility. Now we're getting more information from the National Weather Service. They're going to continue that tornado warning, that one that's down towards Calhoun, Lexington, and Orangeburg counties. They're going to continue that as the rotation is still there and possible. So we're watching, they are going to continue this warning that's going through parts of Calhoun County. So we're getting still some more information. They're continuing the other warning as well. Got that storm that's capable of producing a tornado is currently near the farmer's market near Casey. So we'll kind of zoom into that and kind of time that one out. You notice a line of showers and thunderstorms kind of moving through, and we'll kind of time this out for you as well as we zoom in a little bit closer to what's going on. Let's find my tool here, and we'll go east at about 35 miles per hour. So Congaree, you're getting the rain now, or you will be in the next few minutes. Eastover, Rembert, Cherryvale, Privateer, Sumter, and East Sumter. Notice as the storms continue to move through the area. Now, if you in this area that has not had the severe weather as of yet, be prepared, because we're all still in this tornado watch box until 2 o'clock. But as we've been talking about all morning long, the weather does improve by the time we get to by the time these storms kind of move through, our weather does improve. So let's go to the velocity product and see. Here is that system that we're watching in particular. Notice you see the rotation with it. It is basically right over I-26. It is moving east. And we're getting some more information here from the National Weather Service. Severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible. This is a new warning, and this is going to, or no, I'm sorry, it will continue until 11:15. I apologize. That is the same warning. It's going to continue. But it's this particular area we're watching, that rotation right there, moving towards the east. This is for you guys in Calhoun County. Possible tornado with this particular cell as it continues to move towards the east at about 35 miles per hour. So we'll kind of time it out here. And luckily it's in some kind of rural areas, but you can kind of see where it is for parts of Calhoun County, Fort Mott School, Singleton, Briarhead School, Sunny Plains School. So these are some rural areas, but you guys also in St. Matthews want to pay attention. You are in the tornado warning box. Let's look at this warning up here. It looks like there is some rotation still near Bluff Estates there. That's going to be moving towards Horal Hill over the next few minutes. You guys are still in this tornado warning. Congaree, Hopkins, officially in the tornado warning, but you'll notice as we zoom in, we got some strong winds and possible rotation here just south of I-20 moving towards Horal Hill. We'll kind of time that one out for you. Well, let's put a track on it. As we continue to track these storms and the cells that are possibly, well, wrong tool, as they continue to possibly produce tornadic activity. Now, officially, the Weather Service did indicate that a tornado was spotted, or at least radar indicated, with this particular storm. So, at least according to radar, there was a tornadic debris signature. So, this is the area that we're really concerned with, along with that other one in St. Matthews. And so, again, dangerous situation. If you're in these tornado warnings, you do want to take your tornado precautions. Go to the centermost part of your house, away from windows and doors, and be prepared for severe weather east of these storms as well, Corey, as we continue to track these basically from west to east.
Yeah, and I want to go back to that Calhoun storm because it looks like we might have a radar-confirmed tornado on the ground right now. I first want to show you where the rotation is. This is going to be in northern Calhoun County. So St. Matthews, you're right on the bottom right-hand side of the screen here. Let me actually switch you over to my feed so you can see that. But we're currently seeing that rotation. I believe State Road 176 runs north of St. Matthews here. So this is heading towards that. But I want to switch us over to the correlation coefficient. I want to show you this right here. This little bit of yellow and green right here is right underneath that rotation. And radar beams can pick up pretty much what's inside of a storm based on the size and how similar everything is. And we've seen this persist here for the last few scans. That means we're potentially seeing some debris lofted in portions of northern Calhoun County. So this is just east of I-26. I want to zoom out just a little bit just to give you guys a little bit of a bearing on where this is compared to St. Matthews. This is heading towards the east right now, but this is a tornado debris signature, so very likely that we do have a tornado on the ground in Calhoun County. So if you're in especially northern Calhoun County, you need to take shelter now. If you're in Totnes, Singleton, or Kingville, this is heading your way. Totnes around 11:15, Singleton 11:22, and Kingville around 11:27. And here is that tornado debris signature. I'm going to take us back to that rotation, and you can see where it is currently, just in the northern part of the county. So if you are north of St. Matthews, this is where we're currently, I think, most concerned about right now with there being a tornado on the ground. This has passed I-26, continue to move to the east right now. Let's go back to the storm up towards the north just to take a look at that. And I think the good news with this, it doesn't look anywhere near as organized as that southern system. So places like Hopkins over towards Eastover, just keep an eye on this. But I think the imminent threat right now is going to continue to be on that storm that's down in Calhoun County, Daniel.
Yeah, we're tracking both of those, obviously, and let's kind of we'll just press the reset button real quickly. So we still do have a tornado watch for all of the Midlands at this point. Now, we're still getting some information from the National Weather Service. If you hear these beeps behind me, that's information coming in. It looks like tornado warning continues for Calhoun, Lexington, and Richland counties. I'll show you that one. It's that one down towards the south, and it says at 11:10, a confirmed tornado was located near St. Matthews, or about 13 miles north of Brookdale, moving towards the east at 40 miles per hour. So let's go ahead and see where that one is. Let's zoom in here, turn on our velocity product, and there is that particular storm, and you can see it's showing a little bit better rotation right now. So that's the one we're watching closely. So moving towards the east at 40 miles per hour. So let's go ahead and track this one out. This warning continues until 11:30 for you guys in mainly Calhoun County, but you can see that little sliver of Richland County and a very small part of Lexington County as well. But let's go ahead and track this particular system storm as it moves towards the east at about 40 miles per hour. So again, National Weather Service indicating that a tornado has been confirmed with this particular cell. So this is the one we're concerned with all of them, but this one in particular we'll have to kind of watch. We'll kind of track this one out towards the east here. And luckily, it's relatively low population areas, but you're still talking about you guys in St. Matthews. Be prepared for possible tornadic activity as this cell appears to be maybe ramping up just a touch, maybe. Let's go back in time a little bit, and you can kind of see how the last, we'll say the last 30 minutes with this particular. We just got an update, so the rotation looks to be a little bit more broad, but nonetheless, we still do have that tornado warning for this particular area. According to the National Weather Service, as Corey just mentioned, likely tornadic debris signature with that Calhoun County warning as it crossed US 21. But according to the Weather Service, it appears that the tornado has now lifted, but keep in mind, these things can drop back down, and if you're east of this storm, if you're in parts of Sumter County, parts of Clarendon County, you want to pay close attention to these storms as they move from west to east, because they do have a history of producing tornadic activity at this point. So you don't want to let your guard down as we go into the late morning hours. So we're getting more and more reports from the National Weather Service that some of these storms have produced tornadoes according to the correlation coefficient, some debris being shown on our radar. So again, you want to pay close attention to our weather at this point. The good news is for you guys in parts of the northern half of the Midlands. So let me go back to the regular radar at this point. I'll zoom out a touch and I'll show you the radar. The parts of Fairfield County, Newberry, Saluda, western parts of Lexington, and parts mostly of all of Aiken County. Now the threat of severe weather has basically come to an end. It's this main line that we're watching basically along and south of I-20 as it moves towards the east very quickly. We're continuing to get some updates from the National Weather Service. Not only are we dealing with severe weather, but they've now issued an aerial flood advisory for Fairfield, Kershaw, Lexington, Newberry, Richland, and Saluda counties. So heavy downpours are possible, and that could lead to some flooding around the area. Again, tornado watch in effect for all of the Midlands. The good news is basically east, or I should say west of this line here, the threat of severe weather is coming to an end as that main line pushes through. But it's that main line we're continuing to watch as that tornado warning, as both of those tornado warnings continue for another 15 minutes or so. I'm going to switch products here and show you. All right. Good news is they just canceled that tornado warning for Calhoun and Lexington. That one that was towards the north there has been canceled. That one that did include parts of the downtown Columbia area, southeast parts of Columbia. So currently we only do have one tornado warning in effect, and it's this one. And let's go to the velocity product to see if we have any kind of rotation. It looked like it was kind of broadening up. And I don't know if Corey's still following this one here, but it does look like it has broadened up a lot. It looks like you're watching this one still, but the good news is it looks like it is not quite as well defined. The bad news is, according to the National Weather Service, and you saw it first, I believe, that there was some tornadic debris in the air at some point.
Yeah, let's actually take a look back at this because we are seeing this at least weaken right now. First, I actually want to show you guys at least the velocity signature one more time here inside the tornado warning. This is what we're watching just north of St. Matthews, so US 176. Pretty much, I would say, is west of this now. We're dealing at least with some broad rotation with this, but I want to go back to the correlation coefficient because this is how we can determine if there's been any debris in a system. I'm going to go ahead and put this back to the last 30 minutes and move it over our system here, and you're going to see what we were pretty much tracking is that there was this little ball right here, and let me slow this down so you can actually see it. There we go. So there was this little bit of yellow that was moving from 26 through Calhoun County. That was the tornado debris signature that was being picked up with this system. Thankfully, with this more broad in rotation, we're expecting this to go away within the next couple of scans. But as we have seen, this line has been capable of producing tornadoes. In fact, the Storm Prediction Center has actually put out a discussion talking about how the environment moving out east from where this line currently is still pretty ripe for tornadic weather to be possible. So if you are in places that we really haven't mentioned so far today, including Lee County, Sumter County, and Clarendon counties, you need to keep an eye on this. It's going to be getting towards you within the next 1 to 2 hours, depending on where you're living at. In fact, let's go ahead and stop this. I can take at least a track and just show you guys where this is heading out to currently. Moving out towards the east. So I'm going to extend this through pretty much the entire viewing area so we can get a timing on that. And let me go ahead and click that. There we go. So Bishopville around 11:27, Privateer around 11:44, Sumter 11:54. So we're approaching the noon hour at this point. Manning 12:05, Sardinia around 12:21, Shiloh 12:30. Eventually moving towards Florence, so out of the viewing area around 12:46. So we still have at least another hour, I would say, to hour and a half of dealing with the severe weather as it moves through the area. I think past that, we're still going to be dealing with some heavy rain behind at least the leading edge of the storm, but that's really where the biggest tornado risk lies. Behind that, it's going to be really just flash flooding that we're dealing with residually from this rain moving through. So about an hour or so, Daniel, I think, until everyone's in the all clear, just to give everyone an idea of what we're looking at right now. I do want to go back to the velocity just to take another look at our tornado warned storm currently in Calhoun County. And I think this is definitely a good look here. Definitely a little bit more broad. It looks like we have a new severe thunderstorm warning, Daniel. So I don't know if you want to go over that, what they're seeing with that.
Yeah, new severe thunderstorm warning, and the verbiage from the National Weather Service is this is a possible tornado. So kind of a large warning here. This includes parts of Lee County. So there's these other areas that we haven't talked much about as of yet. You're now included in this warning. This is a severe thunderstorm warning, possible tornado. Lee County, Sumter County, southeastern Richland County, eastern parts of Calhoun County, Clarendon County, and eastern parts of Orangeburg County. So talk about a little bit more of the specifics of this particular storm. This is a severe thunderstorm warning. Mentioned those places just a while ago. It does continue until 12:15. Now the tornado warning for Calhoun County and a very small sliver of Lexington and Richland, it continues until 11:30, so another few minutes or so. Getting some storm reports from the Aiken County Emergency Management. There has been some property damage on Springflower Road near Wagner. So that is over in Aiken County, and they're deeming that as a possible tornadic damage for that area. But again, tornado possible, severe thunderstorm warning, Clarendon, Lee, Orangeburg. It's that very large area there that we're watching, and it includes that even parts of St. Matthew, or Calhoun County, I should say, and parts of Lee County as well. The tornado watch does continue for all of the Midlands. That's the biggest thing too we'll be watching. We're not out of the woods as of yet. This tornado watch continues until 2 o'clock this afternoon. The good news is, as we switch products here, it looks like the velocities, at least the rotations, don't seem, they're not as tight. They're a little bit more broad. So that's certainly good news. But nonetheless, there's still that tornado, that severe thunderstorm warning, possible tornado in effect for that large area of our viewing area. So again, you can see that orange or warning box there. That is the severe thunderstorm warning, possible tornado. Officially, we still do have that tornado warning in effect for this red box area, that red polygon. That includes parts of St. Matthews. And you notice the main line there is kind of, if you're in the western half of that box, you're probably good to go. But it's this main area that we're watching as it continues to move generally towards the east. We're still getting some more reports from the National Weather Service. Again, if you're going to be traveling, you may want to just hold off right now. We got some heavy downpours. We do have that flood advisory in effect for a large portion of the Midlands. Now, it looks like that tornado warning has now been expired for Calhoun, Lexington, and Richland counties. So that one we were just talking about, that one we just circled there, it looks like they have now expired that tornado warning. So as of this point, we're only watching this large severe thunderstorm warning with possible tornadic activity within that warning. We'll switch over to the other products here. We've been talking about all morning. The velocity product kind of shows the wind, and you can kind of see these little areas that may produce a little bit of rotation. You see that one just south of Eastover, maybe that one just south of South Congaree. Now, it looks like they are continuing the tornado watch, at least officially. Oh, nope, I take that back. They canceled the tornado watch for Aiken, Edgefield, Newberry, and Saluda County. So as we've been talking about all morning long, the threat for severe weather is going to end from west to east. So we'll give you a quick update. You notice those tornado watches have now ended for the western half of the Palmetto State and the Midlands. This will be the trend as we go through the rest of the morning and into the afternoon hours. Those tornado watches will end as the severe weather threat continues to decrease this morning, basically from west to east. So what we're paying attention to right now, that tornado warning down there in Lexington and Aiken, that one has expired, but I will say the computer has not quite updated as of yet. The warning we're watching, most importantly, as of right now, this very large warning that includes a big portion of the Midlands. It includes southern Lee County, southeastern Calhoun County, Clarendon County, Sumter County, parts of Orangeburg County, a small part of Richland County, and it looks like a very small sliver of Kershaw County. I mean, not a very small sliver of Kershaw County. So at this point, severe thunderstorm was located basically a line northeast of McIntyre, all the way north of Bowman to near Branchville, moving towards the east at 45 miles per hour. So let's go ahead and track this one out for you. We'll do the radar product and show you what we're seeing with this particular storm system, and you can kind of see it right there. So we'll track this one out at 45 miles per hour or so. Let's draw our line here, and we'll do it towards the east, and we'll kind of give you some ideas of how this may impact your weather locally. Remember, if you're not getting the rain as of yet, you're going to get it very quickly. Statesburg in Sumter County, Cherryville, Privateer. Sumter, you guys are under the gun under this warning. Manning and Timminsville, and then over to Cross, and then by the time this thing kind of moves that far out, it'll be out of our viewing area, and it'll be moving towards the Grand Strand and the PD. It looks like the National Weather Service, or I should say the Storm Prediction Center, has now added the tornado watch box to parts of South Carolina. So they have added that tornado watch box. Now it does include parts of the PD and the Grand Strand. So they're decreasing the watch box from west to east, but increasing it the farther east you go, over towards the Grand Strand, Myrtle Beach, Horry County. You're talking about Georgetown, Marion, and Dillon. But the main thing we're watching for us here in the Midlands, this line of storms that have the potential of producing tornadoes at this point. Severe thunderstorm warning, possible tornado with this particular system. So let me go back to the radar product here. Let me change it to another radar product. There we go. And we're getting more information here. Another local storm report. This one is from the Highway Department, north, about 2 miles north of Woodford in Lexington County. According to the Highway Department, a possible tornado there. So that was that warning that we were talking about earlier, possible tornado with that particular cell that moved through earlier. So let's talk about the let's talk about how fast these things are kind of moving through. I'm going to switch products one more time. Corey, you seeing anything crazy right now? I'm still seeing some rotation down there towards Eastover, maybe just north of St. Matthews, but nothing, unless you're seeing something, nothing's really standing out as of right now.
Yeah, so what I'm watching right now is down actually in Orangeburg County. Let's switch over to that and just show you what we're seeing right now. Very broad rotation. So this is just north of Bowman, about to head towards Santee, Ellery, and Vance. Not really concerned with tornadic potential with this being so broad right now, but often on this backhand side, we can see some pretty gusty winds with this, the outflow of the storm essentially pushing winds ahead of the system. So this could potentially tighten up. That's something I'll be keeping an eye on. We call this a notch right here, and essentially we have winds going in and winds going out. And if that starts to tighten up, we could see maybe a quick spin up down in Orangeburg County. I want to put out a time for that just so that everyone in the path of that would be aware of what's going on. Right around 11:37, Felderville, Santee around 11:42, Vance 11:49, 11:58 in Utahville. So no tornado with this, but definitely going to be some gusty winds passing over your house at those times. Like Daniel said, we're really looking at some improvements, I think, over the last 30 minutes. We're not really seeing that much in the way of any tight couplets, so any rotation tight enough to produce a tornado. This tornado warning has expired. We now have this severe thunderstorm warning that covers most of the viewing area. And I want to switch us back over to the reflectivity. So this is showing us the rainfall, because that's another thing we've been dealing with. If you are traveling out, or if you're planning to maybe at least give yourself a little bit of extra time or try to wait a little bit, we're seeing some pretty intense rainfall rates with the line itself as it continues to work towards the east. And it's really along the front of this line that we are expecting any severe potential. Once you get behind this, and I'm going to move this back, we're still seeing rain out towards the west, towards Saluda County, Lexington County, towards Aiken County, even up towards Fairfield and Newberry counties. But that's just stratiform precipitation, just some light rain falling. It's the leading edge of this where we're concerned about that severe weather. That's why we have the severe thunderstorm warning that's currently out for the eastern Midlands. That's including places like Manning, Sumter, over towards southern Lee County here as you get a little bit later on. There is some lightning with this as well, so you're going to hear that coming through. And as for the velocity, let's go back. Let's take another look one more time, see if there's anything sticking out. But really outside of that very broad rotation just south of Ellery now, I'm not seeing anything I'm too concerned about, which is definitely great news, at least for the tornado potential. It looks to be a little bit lower, but we're still going to track for that potential of strong winds. And I just want to reiterate, when we see those winds, they can cause as much damage as a weak tornado as they move through. So just because there's a tornado, or no tornado warning, I should say, doesn't mean that you need to take this less seriously, folks. We're still dealing with a pretty stout line. This has continued to put down severe weather throughout the morning hours. We've had very spring-like warmth over the last couple of days, and that has produced spring-like severe weather here across the Midlands, and we are seeing that as you go today. But let's head back over to Daniel with the latest on what he's seeing.
Yeah, we're still tracking all these warnings. Now, officially, we only have one warning in effect. National Weather Service did allow that tornado warning that was for parts of Richland, Calhoun, and Lexington counties. They allowed that one to expire, but we still do have the severe thunderstorm warning. Possible tornado is the verbiage from the National Weather Service. This will continue until 12:15. So this does include Clarendon, Lee, Orangeburg, Sumter counties. It also includes a very small sliver of Kershaw County and Richland County as well, as the system continues to move, or I should say possible severe thunderstorm warning, possible tornado continues to move generally towards the east pretty quickly. So if you're in this area, you do want to go ahead and take tornado precautions. You want to go to the centermost part of your house, away from windows and doors. You want to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. We're continuing to watch the velocity product to show how fast the winds are going. We're continuing to watch for possible rotation. And right now, there's a few areas that we'll have to continue to monitor as this continues to move generally towards the east. So we'll kind of time it out for you. You're talking about Stateburg in Sumter County, Cherryvale, Privateer at about 10 till 12 or so. Sumter, you guys are still under the gun. in about 25 minutes or so, but you do want to be prepared for a possible severe thunderstorm with maybe some rotation that could produce a tornado. So again, pay attention to this situation. We do have these storms that have produced tornadoes so far, at least tornadic damage according to radar, and there's some areas that have been at least reporting some damage. So like Corey mentioned, some of this wind is so strong it can almost seem like tornadic damage. So you're still talking about a dangerous situation with these thunderstorms moving through. Manning about 12:05, and then as it moves out from Manning, for us here in our viewing area, the threat will be basically over with. Now we still do have that tornado watch until 2 o'clock this afternoon for the majority of the Midlands. I say the majority of the Midlands because I'm going to zoom out and show you how this has been ending from west to east this morning. Newberry, Saluda, and Aiken counties, you're no longer under the tornado watch box at this point. The biggest story we're watching is a severe thunderstorm warning, possible tornado for the eastern half of the Midlands. I'm going to go ahead and show you. Let's change products real quick and show you the radar. Let's go to radar here and show you what's going on with the radar. Still watching the velocity here, seeing if there's any kind of rotation. There may be some broad rotation just south of Ellery. Could see a little bit of rotation. That's way down there south of Pinewood and maybe just west of Pinewood. We'll continue to watch these areas. Also Stateburg. Notice some strong winds there as well. Dalzell, you guys are going to be getting in some strong winds. And up in Lee County, if you're not getting those strong winds as of yet, it's probably on the way. So we're continuing to monitor these storms as they push through. Let me load up this look here as we continue to track the storms. There's that main line. I do think at this point in western Orangeburg, you guys are in the clear as far as severe weather is concerned. Richland County, at least the western part of Richland County in the clear. Lexington County, you're fine. Winsboro, Fairfield County, Newberry County, Saluda County. The biggest threat for you guys as of right now will be the heavy downpours and that potential for flooding. That aerial flood advisory does continue for, let me go ahead and look at this number again. I believe it was till early this afternoon, 1:15 this afternoon. So heavy downpours are possible along with some flooding. You do want to be very careful if you're driving this afternoon or this morning. You may just want to not drive at this point because the roads would be pretty rough. Let's go ahead and track this out for you another time here for you guys in the eastern half of the Midlands where you are still under this severe thunderstorm warning, possible tornado, and this continues for another 45 minutes or so. Let's go ahead and put a track on this and let's see if we can kind of nail down some of these times for you. Santee, Holly Hill, you guys are going to be getting into some action here in just a few minutes. Somerton at about 11:45 or so. Holly Hill about 10 minutes till 12. Manning, 5 minutes till 12. And then those other areas are kind of outside of our viewing area, Kingstree and places like that. Now we'll move along just a touch here, go towards the north. Dalzell, you guys are starting to see probably some of the impacts of these strong winds. Cherryville and Sumter as well. Maysville, you're going to have to watch for that potential. So we're going to continue to see a severe thunderstorm warning, possible tornado. This is according to the National Weather Service. So it's this line that we've been talking about for the last few minutes. This continues until 12:15. We continue to get a lot more information from the Weather Service. It looks like the Weather Service has now canceled the severe thunderstorm warning for Kershaw County. So that's good news there. It looks like you guys are going to be in the clear for Kershaw. But again, it's this main line that's moving through the Midlands. So we're going to continue to follow this. We'll bring you more updates on air and online as needed. But for now, we'll send it back to your regular scheduled program.